This week on Camera Talk, we're going to just talk. And what are we going to talk about? Well, for those who live in Leica land, you live in Leica land, mister?
The wonderful world of Cameraland.
Back in January, Leica released a new M camera, the M11. We've had several months to kind of watch how it's played out and so forth and so on, and we've got an opinion on what we think about the M11. Some of it good, some of it maybe not so good. So let's talk about it. So come on down, pull up a chair, grab something to eat or drink, get comfortable, and let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. All right. This week on Camera Talk, we are just talking. Just as I said in the intro, Dylan and I are going to discuss, what we think of the latest, greatest release from Leica. So this is Leica Man in Vietnam. And what happened? What's our latest, greatest release? Well, back in January, you remember back in January? Yeah, you were, 21 months old? And now look at you. Now you're like 2 years old now, huh? 24 months old. Woo! So Leica released the M11 to a lot of hoopla out there. A lot of people were waiting for the M11 to come out.
What are you waiting for, huh?
And me included. I wanted to see what the latest, greatest offering from Leica was going to be. And I'm a Leica fan myself, a Leica user. Started off with the M9, moved on to the M10. I still use the M9. I use both. So I was thinking, well, let's see what the M11 has that these guys don't. And, as far as it comes to things like bells and whistles and things that happen out there in Leica land, there are a lot of bells and whistles in the M11. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today is, are these bells and whistles, are these latest, greatest things that much of a difference that are going to really keep Dylan awake or, encourage me to actually want to go out and drop $9,000 or so on a camera body. Some of the things, obviously the biggest feature is the sensor. The fact that it's 60 megapixels. Holy crap, 60 megapixels.
Too small. If you are not enjoying it, then you don't feel good.
My Sony A7R II is 42 megapixels, and I thought that was kind of overkill. I thought that was pretty big. The Leica M10R is also 40 megapixels, and that's kind of how I look at this 60 megapixel thing is, wow, the numbers are nice for people who are chasing the bigger the better sort of thing in life. But again, is 60 megapixels necessary? For some people, maybe. For those who are, again, needing high resolution for huge prints, I think that's probably very few people out there that are like that. Other people may use that 60 megapixels to be able to crop in on things too. Okay, I could see that argument. But, again, if you're needing to crop in on all your photos all the time, why don't you just move a little closer to something? You don't need to be cropping in, right? So, focus with your feet, as they say, especially in Leica land where these things, this 50 Summilux is a manual focus lens. There is no autofocus on it. So if I'm gonna have to zoom with this thing, I have to move closer. So if you're moving closer to things, I guess you don't really need to crop that much. So 60 megapixels I think is a bit overkill in my opinion. But one of the cool features as well is that you can select 60, 36, or 18.
Fuck out.
You know, brings you down to M9 size files. So the 36 to 18 is probably, if I had an M11, where I would probably be shooting mostly. Now, of course, not to say I wouldn't use the 60, just to see, you know, what I get out of them and so forth and so on. But, you know, if I'm shooting lots of photos, I may choose the 36 just to be able to, you know, get more bang for the buck out of my SD card. So 36 may be better in my opinion. But again, you know, comparing back to the M10 line, now I have a regular M10. I don't have the P or the R or anything else. But so I have a 24 megapixel. And, you know, as has been discussed by many people in digital world, 24 kind of is the sweet spot.
That's what she said.
For digital photography, especially when you're posting, you know, pictures on your laptop or your desktop or on your cell phone, things like that. You know, 24 megapixels is plenty, isn't it? So, you know, I kind of think my choice to buy the M10 was a good decision, especially for the progress over the M9. Now, of course, the M9 had the CCD sensor. It had issues with the sensor. It had other things, you know, the you know, things like the sound of the shutter. You know, listen to that versus that. Of course, you hear the yeah, you hear the difference. Yeah. So, and this is quite loud, isn't it? But I don't mind it. You know, it sounds kind of cool. It has its own character, right?
Well, isn't that special?
And then the M11 is closer to the M10. It's more just a click, and you know, that's it. But again, the M11 for the price tag it has, you know, there's no in-body stabilization. And here's my wife. Here's my wife interrupting our video here. So the you know, the decision to go with the M10 made a lot of sense. Now with the M11 2, not that it's a 2, the M11 also has some cool feature, like in live view it actually has a stabilization feature, so that when you're, you know, zooming in, optically zooming in, or no, sorry, electronically zooming in on your focus point, it stabilizes the screen, you know, either in your EVF or on the back screen, so that you can get a better idea of your critical focus. But the camera itself doesn't have image stabilization. So again, for that type of money, you think they might. No! The EVF itself, I hear, is quite good. You know, I have the EVF 2 that goes on the M10, which is quite good in itself. But I hear the new one is even better. So that's a good point. But really, it comes down to you know, usability and things like this, right? Do we actually need an M11 when we have an M10 or an M9? In my opinion, not really. Especially for those who have, you know, if you're after the resolution, the higher resolution, the M10R. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a great camera. I wish I had one of those. It's a little more expensive for my budget though. But someday, you know, I'll get a secondhand one, which is what I get for all of these. I bought these two secondhand as well. You know, I'm into saving money. That's what modesty photography is all about, right? Is saving you money. giving you tips and tricks on things and vintage lenses and so forth and so on, introducing you to new things. But today's topic, you know, we're just chatting. We're just having a fireside chat, minus the fire.
And now for something completely different.
You know, again, you know, opinions are, everybody has one. My opinion is that for the money that you have to invest into the M11, I personally don't see the value in it, as opposed to the price you would pay for one of the M10s that are out there, or the 240, or the M9, or even the M8 for those who aren't picky about full frame. So anyway, yeah, the M11 is cool. The M11 is cool to talk about. It's cool to see people using it in action. But, you know, again, if you want to look at a downside of it, especially if you're shooting at the 60 megapixel, some of your older Leica lenses, as I just mentioned at Modesty Photography, we're all about vintage lenses too. Now my Summilux here and my Summarit there, the 75, are newer lenses, so they probably could resolve well on the 60. But, you know, my old Sumatar, the Sumar, or my Summicron version 3, or my 21 millimeter, you know, or the 28 millimeter Elmarit, made in Canada.
Good day. How's it going? Okay. Boy.
Are older lenses, and they may not fare so well on such a high resolving sensor. So again, you know, and depending on what your uses are for your photography, or what your goals are, the M11 may not be for you. It's not for me. I mean, if the prices were the same, you know, or very close to, you know, an M10, then, you know, I may actually consider it. It's just like looking at a Noctilux. Hey, they're nice, you know. You watched a couple videos ago, not a couple, quite a few videos ago, I compared the Noctilux to my TT Artisans and whatnot, and the Noctilux, being the price tag it is, it's nice, but it's not nice enough where I would go sinking that kind of money into it.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 No.
So anyway, that's yeah, in a nutshell. Anyway, I just want to talk about it quickly. You know, is the M11 for you? It may be. Is the M11 for me? No. It may be someday. Again, our goals and dreams and purposes and everything else in life may change at some point, or the price may drop enough where I'd say, okay, now it's worth it. You know, again, just to touch on little things about, you know, benefits and things. One of the bigger differences is the on the M11, there's no more bottom base plate like there are on every other M camera that's out there in the history of the M's. And you know, some people like that. It's a little door, just like on my M50 or on my Sony cameras, or basically any other camera out there. They have a little switch, little door opens, and you push in, pop out, and you get your battery out. Battery life is supposedly better. Again, I don't complain about the battery life on any of these because I'm not shooting thousands of photos every day. I have 2 batteries each. You know, I carry them around with me as well. But, you know, again, it's not enough of a complaint for me to have to go spending thousands and thousands of dollars more to shoot on 1 battery. So anyway, and it has, you know, it has USB charging on it. But you know where you plug it in? The bottom of the camera.
Get the fuck out of here.
On the M11, you can plug your USB in here. Now, why would you, instead of here, you know, on the side or something, so that you can actually set your camera down like this? But no, they put it on the bottom, which means now you have to put your camera down some other way other than straight up like this. So it's kind of a weird design decision, and maybe there's a good reason for it.
I don't care.
I don't know. I don't work for Leica. So anyway, I think now that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. So anyhow, how about a little plug for our software that we use to edit our photos? Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. Now AI is the last version. Luminar 4 and Luminar AI were kind of rolled into the newest one called Luminar Neo. Artificial intelligence, power line removal, spot and dust removal, scene relighting, things like this. They're actually adding more updates. By the time you watch this video, they probably added a few more features to it, but the features we have are pretty cool. I like artificial intelligence because that means I don't have to work so hard on editing my photos. So if you're like me, and I don't want to call us lazy, but if you're like me and you don't want to waste time doing that, you just want to click, 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 and things are done, then Luminar may be the answer for you. So it's about $70 or so. If you want to save $10, click below. Click below, you'll save $10, right? We like to save $10, don't we? So you can buy more cookies. And we get a little kickback from that too, right? Yeah, we like kickbacks. Yeah. And how about you help us get exposed out there in YouTube land and subscribe to our channel, right? You like subscribers, right? So subscribe. That's right. And you want to do it with that hand? Subscribe. That's right. How about two hands? More power to you. Subscribe. That's right. Because they belong here, right? Remember, you belong here at Modesty Photography. So this was... Not yet, because you know what we forgot after subscribe? YouTube also likes thumbs up. So give us a thumbs up too, so we can show you the thumbs up girls. You like the thumbs up girls? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And I think that was it, right? That's it for now. So this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. So come on back next week. We'll do it again. We'll talk about something else. No, it's too early, man. Don't get up yet. Yeah, one more thing to do. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Here I am.